Hi everyone, just want to give you a little COVID update today. I know there are lots of people asking questions and lots of things we're all trying to work out together. So I think it's just helpful if we work through it step by step. So here we go.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the symptoms. The first one here is a continuous cough, and the guidance says this means coughing a lot for more than an hour or 3 or more coughing episodes in 24 hours. And it says if you usually have a cough, it may be worse than usual. So just have a think about what that looks like. Next one is a temperature, and the DFE guidance says this means you feel hot to touch on your chest or back. A temperature, if you're measuring a temperature, anything over 37.8 is classed as a fever, so you want to look out for that. And then we've got loss of taste or loss of smell. So you've noticed that you can't smell or taste anything, or things smell or taste very different to normal. And people have usually got at least one of these symptoms if they've got coronavirus. So the first thing you need to do if you have any of these symptoms is isolate. Now that's the person with the symptoms and also the people in their household. So anybody that's living with the person with symptoms, you all need to isolate first. Then you need to make sure that you stay in the house. So that's all of you, even if you haven't got the symptoms, you need to stay in the house until you get the test and see whether you do have coronavirus. The next thing you need to do is try to get a test. So you can go on the government website or you can ring 119 to try and book a test. If you don't drive, then you will need to book a walk-in, and unfortunately you have to walk to the walk-in. There is one currently at Wandsworth Town Hall on some days of the week, and they are trying to make sure that one gets set up closer to us, maybe somewhere like the Yvonne Car. So hopefully it won't be too long before we have a test centre really close by. Then while you're waiting for your test results, you need to isolate, and that means the person with the symptoms and the people in their family. So all of you in the household need to isolate together until you get the test result back. If the test result is positive, then you need to keep isolating for 14 days. If the test result is negative and you're well again, then you can come back to school. So what can we do in and around school to make sure that we try to avoid spreading the virus? The most important thing we can do is follow the rule of 6. And the rule of 6 means indoors and outdoors, and it includes children in the 6. So I want you to be really careful on the playground. How many of you are standing together? Are you standing far enough apart? Are there more than 6 of you? So really look at that and make sure that we're helping each other to keep to that rule of 6. The next thing we can do in school is make sure that we're coming to school at the right time. So I will put the times back up for you, but please check whether you're an 8:30 or an 8:45 start, and only come for that time, unless you have siblings, when we've said that the siblings can come at the same time. We're doing this to try and make sure that there aren't too many people on the playground at the same time. But if you come early to chat to your friends or stay late at the end of the day to catch up with people, it's defeating the object of the staggered start. So please check your times. I'll pop them up here at the end of this video and make sure that you're coming at the right time. Then we need to make sure that we're not standing around chatting on the playground. So please think about moving straight off through the playground. Lots of schools aren't letting parents into the playground for that very reason, but I want you to be able to come in and drop your children safely. But it's really important that you're not standing around chatting, not gathering in groups, just dropping off your child and moving on. The other thing you need to do is keep the children off the climbing frame and the trim trail at the beginning and end of the day. The climbing frame is used by a bubble, but it is not cleaned before you are picking up your children, and we are obviously trying to stop the spread of the virus, so your children shouldn't be climbing on the climbing frame or going on the trim trail at the end of the day. You'll have seen me walking around trying to get people down, but I really need your help with that, because once you've picked the children up, they're your responsibility, and I need you to make sure that they're doing the right thing. A really important thing that we need to do is stick to the isolation rules, because that's how we are going to stop the spread. So if your child has had any of the symptoms, or somebody in your house has the symptoms, you must be honest and make sure that you're isolating until you get that test result, whether it's positive or negative. We understand how frustrating it is to keep the children off school when they've already been off for so long, but we've got to make sure that if the children have the symptoms, they either stay off for 10 days or they have the test and get test results back before 10 days. And if somebody else in your house has the symptoms, unfortunately, you need to stay off and isolate for 14 days, because you can catch the virus later on. So that's really important. 10 days if you have the symptoms, 14 days if somebody in your house has the symptoms. A crucial thing for us all during this time is communication. We're trying to listen to you. We're trying to work on the channels that you use to make sure that you get communicated with. You all asked for the app, and I need you all signed up to the app, because that's the easiest way for us to be able to get messages to you. Please also remember the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, because all the videos, all the messages we're putting in those places as well. And at the minute, while the teachers can't meet you, we'll often do things through videos. So please make sure you're signed up to those channels. We can't communicate with each of you separately. We do have to have ways of being able to communicate as a group. So it's really important that you engage and sign up to those ways of communicating. I know all of this is such a big change, and lots of it feels very strange. I want to reassure you it feels very strange for us too, and we're all just working together to try and understand the changes. Obviously things keep changing, there are new things that come, and we'll make sure that we get all of those messages out to you. But just remember, we are all in a time of change, and that does sometimes feel funny and uncomfortable and uncertain. So just keep talking. I'm always on the gate morning and night. And if you've got any concerns, just come and talk to me, because that's the way we're going to get through this together. And the final thing just to remind you about is this really simple: wash hands, cover face, make space. It is actually the best way to stop the virus. And if we can do those things, which are really simple things to do, then we will be able to make sure that the school can stay open, that as many of us as possible are well. So please just remember, wash hands, cover face, make space.